So how good is Steph Curry? Is it the high-arching jump shot, the dazzling threes, the swift handles? By Steph's standard, he's had a statistical down year compared to last season. He scored 6.5 points per game less, shot 4.5% less from the field, 4.2% less effective field goals, and 4.1% less from the three. But a down season for Curry is a career year for most players. That's how good he is. How good, you ask? This season is not the only time in Steph's career, spanning 13 years, where he shot below 40% from the three. Outside of his injured 2019-2020 season, where he shot 24.5% in only 5 games. Historical shooting runs in the family. Just ask his splash brother and biological brother. Excluding first and second year players, the only ones that come close to Steph's level of shooting is Klay Thompson, his teammate who did it for 8 years, but also shot below 40% this season. And Seth Curry, his brother, who has never shot below 40% from the three for 5 straight seasons now. These 3 players are the holy grail of shooting, but Klay and Steph are in another plane of existence, a realm where no player in terms of volume, accuracy, and consistency has ever reached before, and quite possibly even after. And why is that? Why, out of all of the shooters that have come and gone, these 2 are the only ones that can strike fear and panic wherever they are on the court? It's because of 2 things: spacing and gravity. Never heard of these stats before? It's because it isn't. It's more of a concept. What is spacing and gravity? And no, it's not the spacing gravity that you commonly know. So let me explain. Spacing is the ability to draw a player's defender into the perimeter from out to the three-point line. The more willing a player is to shoot from this area, the more they should be accounted for, making it unlikely for the defender to help on cuts, drives, or rotate and provide adequate help defense, which provides space for on-ball players to score. A good example of this is 2018-2019 James Harden. He shot more threes than twos and made them at a 36.8% clip, 1.3% above league average. His step-back three was so deadly that defenses were designed to guard him from the back, not the front. The back. They would rather give him a free path to the rim than take a three. Look at all that space. That's the kind of spacing that Klay and Steph provide. Most defenders wait for the players to get near the three-point line. With Steph and Klay, you have to guard them as soon as they cross half court, especially Steph. What separates him from Klay is he shoots from way beyond the three-point line more often. They even have a second defender outside the three-point line ready to help. That's how much spacing he provides. The NBA has a 22-foot three-point line in the corners and a 23-foot and 9-inch line elsewhere. Steph shoots from plus 25 feet, more than anyone, and makes them at an elite clip. He makes shots from farther away than other players, shooting at or close to the three-point line. Just look at this chart from the 2013-2014 season, up to this season. Steph shot 5,711 threes from 25 feet and beyond, and made them at a near 43% clip. Most players can't even sniff that efficiency while shooting closer to the three-point line. Remember this iconic buzzer beater?
Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown.
Andre Robertson took one step back too far, and he realizes that Steph's gonna shoot. He rushes towards him in a panic. But Steph's release is too quick that Andre Robertson doesn't make it in time. And we all know what happened after that. A buzzer beater and that rare Mike Breen double bang. Remember the box-and-one defense the Toronto Raptors employed in the 2018-2019 NBA Finals after Klay tore his ACL? Steph was basically the only notable shooter on the floor. This is a defense where one player guards a player supported by 4 players in a zone. So no matter where Steph goes, there's always a defender nearby. Here's Van Vliet marking Steph in a zone to prevent him from doing a drive or a three. Here's another example. See the difference in spacing between Steph and Draymond? Van Vliet is sticking to Steph like glue, but Lowry is several steps back ready to help on the drive, leaving Draymond Green, a non-threatening shooter, wide open. The middle of the floor is so spaced out because the Raptors are playing a 4-man zone defense so that they're ready to help on Steph anywhere on the three-point line. Now for the second one. We're going to talk about gravity. Gravity in basketball is the tendency of the defenders to be pulled to certain parts of the floor. Every offensive player has gravity, but not all players are the same. Beyond them, the ball also has gravity because of the need to pressure the ball handler and keep him from getting a wide open shot. And the basket itself has gravity, since the highest percentage shots tend to be taken from a close range. Now, what determines a player's gravity? The primary factor determining a player's gravity is their shooting ability. Defenders can't stray from good shooters, and especially more so against great shooters. Against bad shooters, defenders can cheat an extra step towards the ball or the paint, making it easier for them to provide help defense. Shooting ability is most important when players are off the ball. When it's in their hands, the ability to drive and make plays for teammates become important factors. Consider the difference in how players like Ben Simmons is defended, with and without the ball. Depending on his location, defense can choose to ignore him. A big man with limited range has almost no gravity when he plays on the perimeter, but high gravity inside the paint because of the threat he poses on the offensive glass. The best offenses account for all of these factors and put their players in positions where they have the most gravity. Bad offenses feature low gravity, which means poor spacing and limited driving lanes to the hoop. A good example for the inverse of gravity is Ben Simmons. Defenses can ignore him completely until he gets inside the three-point line. Here are the Lakers playing 5-on-4. They can ignore Ben because he's so far out from the paint, and they know he won't shoot. This is where Steph Curry is best at. He has so much gravity that he puts a strain on the defense past its breaking point. So much so that teams are willing to do unusual tactics just to prevent him from touching the ball. With a great shooter, you can put one player near him, and the defense is good. But Steph Curry has great handle, great vision, lightning quick release, and non-stop off-ball movement followed by hard-setting screeners. The defense always has to account for two defenders on him, and the defense will always shift in the direction of where he is on the floor. The defense is always on edge when Curry is on the floor. That miscommunication can sometimes be an issue. Here Curry is being guarded by 5 Boston Celtics players. Here's Steph pulling in 4 Suns players like he's some kind of magnet. Look at how wide open the floor is because of Steph's gravity, and he's not even near the three-point line yet. Here's Steph again grabbing the attention of all 5 Timberwolves players. We can go on and on about this, but what this shows is Steph will always attract attention, as he should. CJ Marjasani, who runs the site rollcallsportsnet.com, has a gravity and spacing metric data from the 2020-2021 season up to the current season. For the 2021-2022 season, Stephen Curry ranks first in both spacing and gravity. Not just first, but perfect in both categories. If you don't believe it's perfect, rewatch the clips I just showed you. While being the absolute head-turner that he is, Steph also led the league in scoring that season, at 32 points per game, while shooting an insanely efficient 91.6% free throws, 56.9% inside the arc, and 42.1% from the three. His 48.2% field goal that season doesn't do justice on how monstrously amazing his volume and shooting efficiency given the degree of difficulty of his shots and attention he attracts. And this wasn't even his best season. This season, he once again led the NBA in the spacing and gravity category with near perfect score, despite his shooting percentages dropping across the board. Because even if Curry isn't shooting as well, he will still command the same amount of attention a player of his stature should. This kind of offensive explosion is just the norm for him, so don't take him for granted because you might not see a player like this ever again. Besides all these nerdy stats, what makes Curry great is his ability to be both a floor and ceiling raiser. Floor raiser as evidenced by the young upstart Golden State Warriors from the 2014-2015 championship team and the regular season record-breaking 73-9 team. That team had a motto of strength in numbers. And make no mistake, that it's Curry's unselfishness that makes the game easier for everyone else. Steph is also a ceiling raiser for making that historically strong Golden State Warriors team with Kevin Durant reach its full potential before the injuries. He conceded his touches, usage, and stats to accommodate KD. Without issue from Curry, with that unselfishness, they dominated the next 3 seasons and went on to 3 finals appearances, winning 2 championships. Like Tim Duncan before him, Curry is most likely a Golden State lifer, and as long as he is healthy and on the floor, you can expect that the Warriors are always a contender, without the drama and pressure. Besides being a great basketball player, he is the culture setter that drives the whole organization. The Golden State Warriors and fans embodies Curry's personality. Energetic, fun-loving, jovial, and entertaining. But don't let that unassuming babyface and pretty smile fool you. He may not look as imposing as Joel Embiid, a physical specimen like LeBron James, or a long-armed phenom like Kevin Durant. Because his competitive fire to win at all costs is as hot as any other great player, he just doesn't show it or even look the part. He looks like any other regular guy, like you and me. That's what makes him fun and relatable. A guy that looks like that dominating the NBA? Make no mistake, or he'll take your heart out, stomp on it, and squeeze on it for extra good measure. And then before you know it, the game's over. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Please also let us know in the comments who's the next player you want us to cover. Until then, check out the rest of our videos for more amazing NBA content.